LifeTool number 2 and myself talk about the LifeTool number 1. So we shall now look into the next LifeTool. That is LifeTool number 3, Anger Warrior. Now, this is a very interesting part that we can use it. And I personally use it and I find it's really amazing when I got to know about this LifeTool. And it really helps me. So I hope this session will help you to have some idea about how to manage. We will not use the word manage because we can't really manage the anger so per se, but how to deal with it. That eventually what we call the anger itself is impossible. All right, for this LifeTool, the main idea here is that we need to understand that the anger develops in 4 stages. And they can be stopped at any stages using the killing point. So what we are going to do here now is we are going to break so-called the anger into 4 different stages. Once you understand the stages, then we are able to identify the anger before we are being attacked by anger. So then if you can see here, there is a word called killing point. So probably maybe you may allow me to explain what is the meaning of killing point. Well, killing point, there's a Tibetan word that is commonly used to describe killing point is mamahata. Mamahata in Tibetan. Well, killing point is actually an action that we take to stop something. All right, if you are a person who learns karate, right, you know the killing point is the point where at the neck, where if you just knock on it, you will make the person die instantly. So killing point here is, if you know how to use this killing point in the anger development, you're able to stop the anger from developing from one stage to another stage, whereby you will stop the damage done by anger in your life. So this is basically what the LifeTool is about. 4 stages, killing point, how to do it. Let's look at the next slide. Okay, in order for us to understand this LifeTool, we need to have two foundation understanding. First, you must understand the pen. All right, the principle of a pen. Secondly, is the principle in the 2 husbands in the kitchen in order for you to understand this LifeTool well. And we have spent the whole earlier session to explain to you the pen and the 2 husbands. And I believe you are now ready to go for the 3rd LifeTool. That is the 4 stages of anger. So can I see, also we need to understand a few terminology. Can we see the next slide? So a few things that we need to understand before that. We will introduce you another new term, Tibetan term called sashin. Well, sashin is just exactly like the dog that you see on the screen, holding a binoculars, looking, watching every second, every minute, all right, not giving up. It's just like a CCTV at your house, aware, and it is a kind of mental alarm. Then what is this sashin, so to say, watching? What is he doing? Actually, he is looking at our joyful level. Then what is joyful level? It's difficult to understand. What do you mean by joy level or joyful level? Well, joyful level is to examine how we feel. Whether I'm happy now, or I'm not so happy, or I'm actually very angry, because this session is really too long for me, let's say. Or I don't understand what Sok Teng is talking about. Okay, so let's do a simple pulling to understand what joyful level is. So then in a scale of 0 to 5, now what is your joyful level right now? 0 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. If you're 100% happy, mark 5. Now, if it's opposite, then it's 0. Now, if you do not feel happy nor angry, just mark 3. Don't worry, we do not know who actually submitted the polling. All right, so it's just for fun. What's the feeling now? Are you happy, just so-so, or you are not happy? So please give us your answer by responding, just having fun. How is your feeling now? Happy, not happy, just normal? Am I able to see the results? Okay, a lot of people give us the answer. Thank you very much for your answer. I think we can share the result to everyone. Then we can see on the screen, right? There are 2% of people that they are not happy. They are 1%, 2% also rather not really happy. But we can see that 14% of them are very, very happy. And majority of people are in the range of 3 and 4. That is between slightly happy and also so-so. Cool. Thank you so much for your participation. This is a very good measurement for everyone. Okay, so every time when we ask, how are you feeling? So you have to check. Let's say for today, you check yourself 0. That means I'm not happy. I'm really angry. Then maybe tomorrow or at night, you check your joy level. How are you feeling now? Are you feeling better or feeling worse? All right. So that we can understand our state of feeling. Why? This is very important because it will help us in identify the feeling, and it is an indication to understand where we stand. So according to this system, if you are not 100% happy, you have gone into so-called the off balance. So can we see the next slide? So allow me to share with you what do you mean about the 4 stages of anger. As you can see, the first stage is off balance. Stage number 2, upset. Stage number 3, anger. And stage number 4, resentment. The stages go from 1 to 4. So the moment when we are very, very, very happy, we are not in any of these stages of anger. We are actually stage number 0. So the moment we don't feel 100% happy, actually we are already in the first stage of anger, which is off balance. So this is a good news. For those of you who don't mark yourself 100% happy, that means we have some kind of unhappiness in us. And that, if we are able to identify it, then we can apply the killing point and bring back our happiness. But most of the time, we don't, even including myself, that we are not aware of it. And the stages of anger develops into upset. And then if there is a trigger, then we quickly go into the stage number 3, that is anger. That's how the anger develops. And if we are angry and then we thought that's already, actually it's not. If we don't do anything, we actually go into stage 4, that is resentment. When resentment kicks in, we can find ourselves that we don't feel 100% joyful anymore. We don't feel the vigorous in us. We don't feel very energized, really upbeat, very happy. And we lost our love, our innocence, and our openness to a lot of things. Then what is the effect when we are always in the state of resentment? Is that it can harm us through the seen and unseen part. Of course, the seen part is when a word or an action or a facial expression can actually trigger us to feel unhappy. There will be moments when somebody say a word that we feel through charged, and there are moments when even an expression of the eye that look at you like that, and then you feel angry. Okay, and then what's hurt it can make to you? Well, a lot. It is just it is just like the karmic hacker, you know. It hacks away all our good seeds. And that's the reason why many of us, we plant seed so diligently, and yet we don't see results because our good seeds are being stolen by so-called the karmic hacker, or our feeling of anger or resentment. And worst of all, of course, it will harm our health. All right, we will see that why then I developed some kind of high blood pressure, you know, and things like that. So this is what happens to many of us. Yeah, including myself. Before I got to know this, I didn't know that I'm in the stage of resentment. I thought I'm okay after feeling angry upon something, about somebody saying something to me. I thought I'm okay, but in truth, I'm not okay. There is still some kind of resentment in me that is killing me little by little, and it's really what we call, the Cantonese say, not worth it. You know, we have done so much and then we don't get what we deserve, and because we have this so-called the resentment in us about something. So then how to handle this resentment? This is exactly what we're going to talk about. So happy for everyone when you do the emotional check, when you do the joyful level check, we know where we stand. If we are not 100% joyful, chances is there are somebody who make us feel angry, and we still have some kind of resentment towards the person, or certain things that happen to us. We still have some kind of resentment over it. That's why we cannot feel 100% happy, lively, joyful, and open. So, but good news, today you are here, you hear this. Like me, when I heard this, I felt that it's really amazing. So how to do it then? First, we need to understand the off balance. The off balance part is like when we don't feel happy, we are already on the first stage of off balance. Just for example, when we come out from office, when we are heading home to buy some grocery, and then the traffic was really jammed. So what happened? We feel not happy a little bit. Yeah, not really not happy. You just don't feel comfortable. But then after that, as we drive the car, if one car just cut in between our car, we feel what? Upset. Okay. And then the next moment, the person who sit beside us, they say, "Hey, why are you so slow? Can you drive faster?" And then we fall into anger. So this is what happened. And then what can we do? So when we are in the first stage of off balance, we need to remember when we feel happy. We need to bring in quickly those happy moments that we have. All right, so that we do not continue to the next stage, that is upset. But when we are in the stage of upset, we can apply the killing point called the two husbands, or delay the anger. All right, hold on, or remove yourself from that scene of making you feel angry. And lastly, if we can't, and then we burst into anger, actually when we are angry, we can't do anything because it's already the result of a seed that's ripening. But after anger, there's something that we can do. We must quickly remember the pen and then pull ourselves back to the happy stage again. So allow me to share with you my personal example on how am I applying these stages of anger in my life. So when I first learned about this LifeTool, I think about a year ago. And then one fine day, I was happily going back to my mom's house. So in the morning, I did my meditation. I felt so happy, joyful, you know, after a very good meditation in the morning. So I went downstairs to have my breakfast. While I'm eating the breakfast, suddenly my mom came. And then she asked me a question. She asked, "Sok Teng, what do you want to eat?" And then I said, anything will do. So I continue eating my breakfast. And then the second question came. She asked, "What exactly you want to eat?" And then I said, anything you do, anything you cook is fine with me. Then I continue eating. Then she was like a little bit irritated. hesitated with my answer, and then she said something like, what exactly that you really, really want to eat? Yeah? I'm going to prepare breakfast. I'm going to prepare lunch. So now at this juncture, I learned about this. I noticed my joyful level actually drops. And I already in the off balance and even upset now. So I thought I need to remove myself from this scene so that I do not move on to the next stage, that is anger. So I quickly finished off my breakfast and then went upstairs, hiding in the room, hoping that I will not develop this into anger. So while I was in the room checking my WhatsApp, suddenly the door cracks open. And there comes my mom. And then she asked me, what do you really want to eat? And then I was like, I thought I have already answered you. Why are you coming again and asking me the same question early in the morning where I haven't finished my breakfast? And then, whole and behold, I already burst into anger. And then we ended up quarreling. And then she left. I felt so angry. I was now in the stage of resentment. I was thinking she makes my morning a terrible one. I didn't do anything and she irritates me. She is the one. Then suddenly I saw this on my table. And then I realized, oh gosh, the one who irritates me, the one who spoiled my beautiful morning, where does it come from? Then I realized it says that it's not from here, it's from here, right? So then it's my seed to see a irritating mother. So I must have planted an irritating seed before that forced me to see an irritating mother that is speaking irritatingly to me. And with that, then I dropped this idea of feeling irritated, feeling resentment towards her. In fact, suddenly I just felt like a sense of deep gratitude because she took all the trouble to ask me what I want to eat again and again, mainly because she really loves me. And why then I felt irritated? Simply because I have so-called the irritating seed in my mind that opens. So if I don't recognize this, I will continue falling into the stage of resentment and burning all my seeds away, one after another. So this is an example that these stages of anger helps me, at least not at the very beginning, which I hope to, but at least I don't continue develop into resentment that will kill a lot of my good seeds, right? So this is an example of how I help myself using this tool, and I hope you can help you also. Now, we have some time. It looks like time's up, but I think we can still spare some time for quick pooling. So if you can we pull out the pooling very quickly to just do a recap? Hopefully everybody remembers what we have done just now. Yeah. So very quickly, what is the first stage of anger? Is it resentment, off balance, anger, or upset? Then what is the second stage of anger? Is it resentment, off balance, anger? And then number 3, what is the third stage of anger? Resentment, off balance, anger, or upset? Then number 4, and what is the fourth stage of anger? Is it resentment, off balance, anger, or upset? Lastly, what is one of few useful things that you learn from this LifeTool that will help you on anger issue? You can choose multiple choices. First, check your joyful level. 2, understand the stages of anger. Number 3, use killing point to stop anger for going from one stage to another. Next, aware that I'm in resentment and it is hurting me. And lastly, I can use two husband and the pen to help me. All right, so we shall end the pooling and quickly take a look at the answer. Can I see the answer, please? Do we have a pooling answer? All right, now the answer is out. Wow, everybody almost get correct. Okay, number 1, the answer is off balance. Number 2, the answer is upset. Number 3 is anger. Number 4 stage is resentment. Very good. And what can you do? In fact, everybody chooses almost the correct answer. Thank you everyone for participating. Now I have finished this, but before I finish, there is a last word that I want to tell everybody. I hope everyone is now more aware of those stages of anger, and then to stop it from going from one stage to another stage. So remember the power of small action. Every time when we are aware that we are off balance, then we can do something. All right. So now let's invite Dawn to talk more about another life tools that can help us deal with anger. All right. Thank you very much. And I pass the control